Today's session is the follow-on to the session on automatic pilot session A. Now, in autopilot A, talked about getting the end result clearly in mind, and how you are going to get there is what this session is all about. So there are three things that we're looking to do. First of all is not just to envision the end result, but the sequence of next steps that you'll be taking in order to accomplish it. Now, an automatic pilot is going to be especially helpful in any behavior you need to engage in spontaneously and automatically without having to have a lot of internal dialogue. In the research on the human mind and optimal human performance, there's something called flow. And flow states are when there is a lack of self-conscious awareness, that there's a full engagement in the activity that's before you. And you're almost observing yourself going through the event with this witness perspective that's a bit awestruck at how wonderfully you're doing. If you've had experiences like that, you know it's a unique full-on engagement where all of you is wholeheartedly engaged in something that is very important to you, and you're doing your very best work. These states, identified by a University of Chicago professor, psychologist named Csikszentmihalyi, talked about this flow as being an optimal state of performance. Now, other people have talked about this optimal state as well, where it's somewhere between boredom and anxiety. So there is this ideal state. You're engaged enough to really be present, but you're not so stressed out that you begin to shut down. So there's this optimal zone of human performance that is characterized by this thing called flow. Now, am I still sharing my screen? I want to stop that screen share. Thanks very much. All right, here we are. So this idea of having an optimal state is the thing that we want to envision ahead of time. And once you envision where you're going and the steps necessary to get there, the next thing to do is to anchor that. In other words, like a bell ringing for the dogs that are receiving dinner and salivating is called Pavlovian conditioning. What we want to do is we want to condition the mind that when the cue happens, when the situation occurs, it automatically runs. The sequence of states automatically runs within you. That's called anchoring. Now, in the automatic pilot session, one of the things that we're doing is ringing a tone bell. This tone bell was recorded with a $2,000 microphone in each ear canal of a dummy head in the center of the studio. And I held the tone bar, a key of A, which activates this sixth energy circuit. I ring that bell just above and behind the head. Any of you who have studied photo reading with me know that what this does is it puts the brain into an ideal state for processing information that's happening for you. So when you hear that bell ring, you play in your mind, you hear that tone, you play in your mind what you're going to be doing to accomplish your goal. And like I said, this is going to be really good for behaviors that you can just set on automatic pilot, like swinging a golf club or skiing down a hill or standing up and delivering a speech that you need to deliver. Any other behavior, physical, mental, or emotional, you're going to be putting yourself in this optimal state. What kind of behavior are you interested in? For me, one of them is to be able to write. every single day to sit down, start it, and roll it, to not get in my way, not talk myself out of it somehow, but be fully present, engage, and go for it. For a certain amount of time every day, I want to be in that flow. I don't want to have a lot of internal dialogue. I want it to just be able to flow. So autopilot is ideal for me in that instance. Think about what it is you would like to be able to run on autopilot. And once you have envisioned it, once you've anchored it, now what we're going to do is program it in. And this is following something that I think is perhaps the most unique audio recording available on the market today. What I do is I guide your brain to envision that fully anchored state on a sequence known as the Fibonacci number sequence. So you envision it once, and then you envision it twice, then you envision it 3 times. And what Fibonacci number sequence is, you're always adding the previous one. So 5, then 3 more is 8, and then 13, and then 21. You see, so what we're doing is we're in 7 seconds that this tone bar is ringing, you're going to be envisioning this more and more and more and more and more and more and more times. So it's as if you're handing it to the brain and saying, okay, brain, do this. Okay, brain, do this. Boom, boom. Okay, brain, do this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, brain, now do this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, brain, do this. Boom, 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 boom. Now, brain, do this. Brrr. Now, do this. Brrr, brrr, brrr. Until we get up to 34 times of repeating it, and then we slow it down to 21, and then 13, and then 8, and 5. So brain, do this. Brrr, 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 and in a way, it's almost like that. It's almost like a drum beat that you're saying, here it is, go for it, go for it, go for it, go for it. It's very cool. So it follows this Fibonacci number series 34 and then backs down. And a lot of people ask, well, how can I envision a 7-second scene 34 times in 7 seconds? Doesn't make any sense. Well, when you're anchoring it, and you have an anchor for it, it's as if you're just firing off that anchor. Like beating a drum or, hitting a little rhythm in your mind. And your brain is getting it so that it understands, oh, now I know what you're doing. This is the thing that you want me to play for you. We're on it. So that when the event comes and it's time for you to engage, your brain goes on automatic pilot. You just do that thing spontaneously and automatically. So this is why we have spent a significant amount of time with session A, automatic pilot, to make sure you're clear about what it is you want. In session B, we start out, the countdown 5 to 1 gets into what is the sequence you're going to be going through? Okay, now let's anchor that. You hear a tone bar, you play that scene in 7 seconds, and then we begin to speed it up. Okay, tone bar 2 times, tone bar 3 times, tone bar 5 times, tone bar 8 times. You get it? And what this does is it allows the envisioned, anchored sequence of events to become programmed in. That is your autopilot mechanism being programmed for the result that you choose to accomplish. Like I said, it's ideal for optimal human performance. So when you think about what are situations in which you really have to be able to perform optimally, this is the one to go to. It's the the situation where you want to get whatever self-sabotaging, doubting internal dialogue that gets in the way, you want to get it out of there. This is the one that will do it. Because it places you in that state where your brain and body say, yes, I can do it now. It's just a matter of performing it. It's a wonderful experience. Play with it. Enjoy it. I will look forward to seeing you in our next session. Have a spectacular day. Peace and blessings. Bye for now.